So on the page, I just added some things. Quick update here about this. Hopefully I don't bug people I'm living with. Okay. So this is facial comparisons and now it's body composition. Just because people were bringing that up and someone thought that Joseph should have been a lot fatter than my guy. And so I go into that a little bit. Because I really don't think he has a prominent chin, the guy in my picture, and so does the death mask. But they both have right a little bit looser skin underneath the chin. I see that in my picture. And although he still looks somewhat gaunt, I don't think he's like anorexic, But there are these very sunken in high cheekbones. So again, I've been talking to people, and so I'm not quoting them here, but I will give credit. Of course, I can't give anyone exact credit, and it's not like they wrote it down and put their name on this. It was just in passing, someone that was well educated talking about some of these alleged ones, and so I'm not going to say which one, but they really popular one, bringing up height. And again, I'm just analyzing it artistically. And so if someone analyzes it differently than me that has a PhD, that'd be great. So, because I don't. But I go into that whole thing, like how he was considered athletic in May 1844. Okay, and he doesn't look overweight in 1840. He doesn't look obese. He's definitely overweight. I'm overweight. Okay. All these things as I'm doing this, I'm like, yeah, I can relate to some of this. So, and it happens. It can happen fast. And then I love to be athletic and I can lose my weight pretty quick. I've just, the medication I was on, I gained more weight. And I've already been, up until my mid 30s, I was the same weight. But third surgery, hormones messed up, bad POTS, just postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, so causing great fatigue. Anyway, with Joseph, he had something happen where he was just starved in Liberty Jail, and so he lost, allegedly, according to one source I found, in 500 little known facts about Joseph Smith. On the digital version of my laptop, it said page 393. I don't know for sure, but and then I read somewhere else, I was trying to find that quote where he was like 130. So that'd be way more than 45. Like he was like skeletal. So when you lose that much weight, you're not just losing fat, you're losing muscle. And so for sure, I think he got more fat than muscle back the first couple years. So 1842, I think, included that. And that was, someone was saying 1844, they thought he gained a ton of weight because of the novel expositor. But my response was, that was June 10th. He died 20 days later. How much weight do you think he gained in 20 days? Not to be mean, but it was just 20 days. But all of 1842 sucked. So, no, I mean, not the whole, it was awful. It was just really hard for him. It was hard for Emma. They had just had another miscarriage. They had lost a baby a few months before that. they were going through a lot then. I think that was the harder one. Just every following year, anyway, it was probably hard. But there's this study about his physical nature, and how he loved to be athletic. They go into that, how he loved to wrestle. There were quotes of him jumping up from, I have a link here. If you click on this, go to another page, and then you'll find quotes about him jumping up from the dinner table to just in the middle of dinner. So he by nature would rather go run and play than even finish dinner. You know, so, but again, I think having lost muscle, trying to get back to being healthy and not skeletal again, even like a lot of anorexics, unfortunately, will, if they full on say, I'll get better and I'll eat normal, they do sometimes gain a lot of weight, which unfortunately, a lot of them know that they've lost so much muscle being anorexic. But a lot of anorexics are finding that if they weight lift, they can start eating more, gain weight and muscle, and not gain fat really fast. So anyway, sad subject, but believed he's about 200 pounds and 6'2". I've read mostly that. I read he was exactly 6 feet when I count by Hiram Smith's son. I'm not going to give all the sources to that, but there are way more sources saying he was over 6 feet. And so I do think that he didn't want Hiram, that was only 5'11", to feel bad, so I think he slouched. And you do see him slouching sometimes, so I take that into consideration in what I'm going to talk about next. But I found pictures of Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I've done that before. I'm like, this is gonna be dumb to do, and I changed the picture. If you change it 70%, you just need to. So I did. So I've changed it quite a bit, and yeah, so I'm not gonna read everything I wrote here, but there are a couple links there. But yeah, I did hear that he was helping to carry, like he was literally helping build the Navi temple. So that's why I think by 1844 he got back to normal. At that point, it's been like 5 years. He still loved wrestling. And then carrying. Granted, I think his trapezius muscle grew. So here's Arnold. I tried to find him when he was about 37, 38. So approximately 1985. He was in the movie Commando. Shirtless Arnold here. But I outlined, or focusing on the shape of his traps. He's about 6'2", and he was over 200 pounds. Like 220. Kind of same as Joseph. We don't know if Joseph had some extra fat that caused that, or if there was muscle. I think he got back to his normal by 1844, is my opinion. I think 1842 he got a little bit of extra fat weight, but I think he got his muscle back, carrying that limestone. It was limestone. Anyway, I don't want to get too concerned about what he was carrying and what the Nauvoo temple was built in 1844 with. But you do see, that was one thing that always struck me, was just you can see this curve. Like, this guy has muscle, and he has a strong, good trapezius muscle. And so I superimposed them. What's going on here with my picture? It's that collar that's really high up on his neck. Some people, talking with someone, church history department, I'm like, you're not looking at my photo, because they thought it was low on his neck. I'm like, it's covering his jawline. It's not low. It's covering his jaw. It's very high, so there's a little bit of distortion because of his clothes. Obviously his neck didn't go like that, so Arnold's just kind of dips in like that, but this line almost exactly You can imagine maybe Joseph's shoulders kept going down, but and I tried to find one with Arnold where his shoulders were relaxed, so it just happened to be a shirtless one. There were ones with him straight on with a shirt, but just moving. It was hard to find a good one to compare with. But Scannell Kid, I mean, he looks like a kid. He looks like barely old enough to go on a mission, and like you'd see him walking around, you'd be like, "Hey, kiddo," like I'm gonna be 40 in a couple months, and I see missionaries and like, yeah, some of them could be my kids. They could be my kid, you know. So to me, they're kids. So I just really looking at that face, but really, he's just his build is very weak, and he doesn't look that tall. Of course, I am not a forensic scientist, but he just looks very small, and he doesn't look like, you know, when we think it was Lucian Foster, it would have been 1844. He was carrying heavy things to build the temple. Like he wasn't just, oh, everyone go do that. He was, you know, in his journal entries, I went and worked on my farm. He's still a farmer. And one of his equipment broke. Like those were, I was reading I've read his journal entries the last few months of his life several times. And just everything in there. And the Spiritus Kid. Someone, won't say who, but I did hear from someone that they thought, just snap judgment, that he looked kind of shorter. And looking at it this way, if I try to line up where I think his shoulders are and I try to make his face the same size as my guy, there's a Spiritus Kid. It's just he doesn't have the trapezius shape that Arnold does and my guy does. So that's the whole point that I'm making in this video, is they look similar. These two, very, very popular, much more popular than my pictures. It really came about in 1960s, and then, yeah, but his chin just does not have, I can tell it's not curved. There's just things I can see, and just the shape of his nose isn't the same as the death mask. There's my guy. Even that hairline, see how I drew that like that? And it sort of has such an odd shape right there. It really matches. So we're going backwards here, but I did not trace the shape of the chin. I need to throw that in there. I always find out things that aren't quite right when I'm looking at this. But anyway, the lip shape, you know, someone thought that just snap judgment that wasn't into, you know, just was a historian. His bottom lip is too thick, my guys. And dimensionally, no, it's not more thick than the death mask is thinner. The bottom lip is thinner. When you study it this way. But the nose is incredible. But you can see his nostrils very well. And it's not just that there's cotton in there. It's, you see the profiles that Joseph's nose is not like Hiram's. Hiram's nose, the tip of it just settles lower, whereas the tip of his nose is higher. And he sort of has, you can even see that bit of the cartilage coming down like that. But there's that outline put onto there. And so I did this like this, so you can just go back and forth, but I like doing the video. The videos to me is the best because then you can see me take that away. So you can see just see the whole thing. And he does have pretty thick eyebrows, but it's also, is this the shape of his? You start seeing a bit like that. It could be a shadow, like there's a dark shadow that's just as dark as that. Is that really his eyebrows or really go down, you know? But anyway, having that line, you can actually see that painting, you know. The duplicate oil paintings. I think the duplicate oil painting helped sustain the characteristic likeness of his father. It using that daguerreotype, but it wasn't based on it. So yeah, so this was a little bit near. This is different than the main page, and then you can see a video of the skulls, but we've got some quick videos down here where you can just see. So this is not YouTube, just showing you my artistic drawing of the skulls. The Hiram's Death Mask. This is what Dr. Van de Graaff, who wrote books on anatomy, he noted the frontal bone was one big thing other than their various forms of analysis. You just see that on Hiram's death mask. You see on the skull. So many reasons that these 6 doctors think this is actually Joseph's skull, even though it's buried in the ground under Hiram's name. So you don't see that frontal bone, that's the brow bone. You don't see that. You see this step deformity. And guess where you see that? In the duplicate oil painting in Iowa that was based on the daguerreotype. You do not see that in the other paintings. You don't see it on the painting that it's duplicating. So, yeah. 6 doctors. I just can't believe I just didn't know that until a few months ago. I really thought it was just Joseph Lyon, and he didn't really defend it that well, and I wondered, why is this? Did anyone else? You know, someone else must have seen what I see. They did, just nobody knew. They just didn't remember that book or I need to end the video. Just getting irritated again. But it was just buried. Yeah. 6 doctors. Click on this video at the top. Or that one, this one. Click on this one. Yeah, it wasn't 5, it was 6 doctors, but and then 8 people. So in the publications, it's 8 people. If you add on Michael Tracy, it's like 9. So all these people saying it just Michael Tracy thinks that skull was Joseph's. No. 6 doctors. But yeah, there are specific things that you can see in my picture. Okay, have a good day.